So let's look at some examples. Now, one of the things I'm lucky enough to do is count on my joint venture partners and my affiliates to create buzz. It's almost like they're paid buzz creators, because what they'll do is when I've got a new version of Product Launch Formula coming out, they will go out into the market and they'll start blogging about it, and they'll start putting up links about it, maybe even mention it in social media, and they'll try to get people excited. Of course, they're looking for an affiliate commission. So one of the things I did with Product Launch Formula 3 is basically start this sort of JV buzz campaign way in advance. So this is an email I sent to my JVs. This was literally sent out a month before I started pre-launch. So we're talking, probably 6 or 7 weeks before we actually opened our cart for the product launch. And so this, I'm just letting them know something's coming. Just a quick heads up, I've got an all new version of Product Launch Formula coming soon. This will be Product Launch Formula 3. And then I just go on to give them some details. Pre-launch starts, launch starts here. So no trickery, no crazy, exciting, ninja trick here. I'm just basically, I know my partners will start blogging. They will start getting the word out if I give them a heads up. So basically I put this out a month ahead of time, and then I sent another one a week later, another one a week later. So it's basically every week. And then coming down into the final week, I sent them 3 or 4 emails. So by the time we went into pre-launch, I probably sent them 5, maybe 6 emails, sort of getting them pumped up. And then a lot of them are persons of influence, or they are mavens, or they're connectors. They've got social media followings, they're publishers, they've got email lists, and so they're my paid buzz creators, and I just want to get them going as far ahead of time. So I sort of try to amp them up. You've probably already been through this with me a few times, so you know that it means hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions, just speaking to them, trying to get them excited. My last 9 launches have done at least $1 million, and this launch will make it 10 in a row. So just coming out with some real authority, just to sort of convince them to jump on board and start the buzz creation. So the other example I want to give is also with Product Launch Formula 3.0. And so I was basically working on JV, started that a month ahead of time, and then what I did was a few weeks ahead of time, I sent this out to my Product Launch Formula owners, and it's a call for case studies. And it just says, okay, I'm going to collect some case studies for Product Launch Formula. If you've done a PLF style launch and would like to be featured in one of my case studies, then I'd like to hear from you. And then here, basically, boom, I've got PLF 3 coming out. I'm going to release an all new Product Launch Formula in June, PLF 3, and it's going to be 100% new from the ground up. So I'm now putting this out there to my lists, and I actually sent this to both my Product Launch Formula owners and to my prospect lists. So this basically, all of a sudden, 100,000 people are getting this email. It's not my entire market, and it's not like boom, 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 it's pre-launch, come and get excited about buying my product. Here I'm just coming out and I'm wanting to do case studies, and boom, it's a shot across the bow. Since so many people have done great launches just by studying the free material I publish, I will even consider people who are not Product Launch Formula owners. So here, I'm basically just telling people how great my free content is if people can do launches just from the free material I publish. And it's very much true. I've actually have done case studies with people that have just studied my free stuff. Important, your launch doesn't have to be huge, 6 or 7 figure, just one that you'll be happy to share. I've done a case study of a $2,000 launch, and it was great. So this is basically sort of some, way ahead of time assuring people that this isn't just for that Product Launch Formula isn't just for people doing huge, big launches. So basically, I put this out and I sent them to a survey which gathered the data to give me case studies. And of course, I wanted those case studies to use primarily in my teaching within Product Launch Formula. In fact, you've already seen the tennis instructional case, material in the shot across the bow, and that was one of the case studies I got from this query. But the real, so I definitely wanted to get responses. I wanted to get case studies, but a big piece of this was the shot across the bow to let people know that this is coming without, coming out and saying, hey, I've got something coming, you should get excited about buying it. This is the shot across the bow. And so now, between the JV buzz creation that was going on and sending this out to my lists, of which some folks are real fans, some of them are raving fans, and they'll go out and start twittering about it and putting it on Facebook and talking about it in forums. So this started, several weeks before I even went into pre-launch. I could tell the buzz was building. Because one of the things I do is I'm monitoring Twitter for people that mention me by my name or for Product Launch Formula. And I'm monitoring some of the popular forums in my area. And all of a sudden, in the month before pre-launch, I got people already talking about me and Product Launch Formula 3.0, my upcoming launch. A couple other things I did was I was interviewed a couple times, like for popular membership sites in that month before my launch. All of a sudden, I made myself more accessible to be interviewed. And I went out and I spoke at a big event with 400 or 500 attendees. Normally I don't take too many speaking gigs, but this one, it put me in front of a good audience just about a week and a half before pre-launch. And the thing is when you're at events, those people are often persons of influence. People that travel to events are often connectors and persons of influence. So by putting myself, at an event with 400 or 500 attendees, many of them persons of influence, by doing a couple of interviews, and by getting my JV partners going, and by getting my list going with that shot across the bow, all of a sudden, even weeks before pre-launch, I had people anticipating what was coming.